Hi everyone, it's HailHeidi again. Okay, so today we're going to react to a very basic look at taxes between Denmark and the USA. This is actually from Travelin' Young. A lot of you have commented on this couple on YouTube, so I'm excited to react to one of their videos and see what they're all about. Also, this might not be a surprise, but my husband and I have been kind of looking into options of moving to other countries. That's kind of weird, right? Didn't even see that coming. We're just looking at options. We're just learning more about it. So if any of you have moved from the US to another country and you had a good experience or, a bad experience, anything, feel free to comment and let me know how that went underneath the video, or reach out to me, things like that. I'm just curious about, we're just kind of pondering and, wondering what we should do there. But before we, get any further into that, let's go ahead and let's do this. Where's my cursor? There we go.
Today we're going to take a simple comparison of taxes in
Denmark
versus taxes in
the United States of America.
Very cute. Okay, Joshua, Maya, Miranda, Brisket. Oh.
We've spent our lives traveling the world.
And in 2018, we moved from
Chicago, Illinois to
Copenhagen, Denmark.
Now we want to share with you
how our new lives abroad
is keeping us young.
the taking turns talking is kind of like throwing me off, but I'm sure that I'll get used to it. That's kind of cute.
keeping us young.
are helping to keep us young.
Maybe they don't do that through the entire video.
Hello,
who knows?
And welcome to Traveling Young. Today we wanted to discuss taxes and compare the fundamentals of a typical paycheck in America versus in Denmark.
This is actually something that I have been very interested in, more of the specifics of, USA versus other countries when it comes to taxes, income, stuff like that. So, yay.
Yes, she said taxes. I do want to mention what this is and isn't meant to be, though. We are not here to complain about paying taxes. We know every single human on the planet has a position on that. So no, this video isn't meant to debate the merits of paying taxes or if somebody feels their taxes are too high. That's not what we're here for.
What this is meant to do is
Good.
help explain
Good-
and
good
compare
disclaimer.
what an American or a Dane making 100,000 US dollars a year or 50,000 Danish krona a month would pay in taxes.
Yeah, and we recognize that taxes, rules about taxes, deductions, everything is
They're
super
adorable.
complicated. In order to keep this conversation basic, we aren't going to tackle all of those things in this video, but we may in another video. We also aren't going to get into sales tax or value-added taxes, which of course affect how you spend the money that you take home from your paycheck each month.
But take-home pay is exactly what we want to cover here. What does a single person with one child take home each month after the basics are taken away from their check? What are they left with, and how does that compare?
Oh, I wonder, maybe they'll, address this, but I wonder if initial taxes are affected if you have a kid versus if you don't have a kid. That's interesting.
Between
We'll see.
the US of A and Denmark.
The US of A, or Denmark. While I adjusted incomes a bit to avoid disclosing too much about us, rest assured these numbers are real, and we know that some people will make a little bit more than this, or some will make less than this, adjusting, of course, the amount of taxes that they pay. This is meant to give the picture with actual numbers. Of course, this
Just
is
one
the
example.
take-home that they pay, that they,
Totally
that
understandable.
Taken out of their check. And what we're not going to talk about here, of course, is the end of the year adjustments that you make. But what we do want to do is just go into this and take our illustration and start showing you how we've kind of calculated what this means to you.
Yeah, so let's show you.
All right, so we've got two pieces of paper
They're
here.
so cute.
This
I
one
can't get
is
over.
America.
They're so wholesome.
This one is Denmark. We're going to cut them in a line, and each strip is going to represent the amount of money a person would make in a month. They will both be the same amount in length. 50,000 Danish krona a month, or 8,330 US dollars. Now we're going to draw some lines here to indicate that each notch is going to be 2,500 Danish krona.
Okay. That's really nice because
Now,
I
each of
am
these sections is
terrible
meant to illustrate that
at
amount,
currency.
2,500 krona, or 408 US
Converting.
dollars. First, we're going to start with America. An American making $50,000 a month is going to pay 7,736 krona in federal income tax, And then they will pay $2,500 in state tax in Illinois, because in this example, the person is living in Illinois, which we did right before we moved here. And then they will pay 3,900 Danish krone in FICA tax. FICA combines both Social Security and Medicare. These are the taxes that somebody has to pay in America. But there's going to be some changes in a minute, but first, let's go to Denmark.
Okay.
In Denmark, you're going to pay 14,824 Danish krone in A-skat. And then there's 4,000 krone
A-skat.
in AM tax.
What's
And there's
A-skat?
just a wee sliver of 95 krone for ATP.
That's
We're not
so
going to label
tiny.
that one because it's so small, but it does exist, so we wanted to
I love
mention
that.
it. So if we look at the taxes here, this is all of the U.S. tax, and this is the Danish tax, and this is what a person making that amount of money would come home with. So in this case, you can see that the American has a little bit more money, but what
Okay, maybe they said they're going to make some changes, right? I do feel like it's almost the same.
what's missing
A
here
little
is
bit.
the American doesn't have health insurance yet, nor are they
Yeah.
saving for a college education for their child. If they had to pay health insurance, they're going to pay 2,333 Danish krone in a month. That's exactly what we were paying for
So we're moving to
Maya
Denmark, right?
and myself when we were living in Illinois. I also decided to save
Honestly,
up for Maya's college costs. And
that's
I
not
started that
exactly a
immediately
joke.
after she was born. I was paying $250 a month, or 1,500 Danish krone. Now you can see once you add health insurance and a college fund, these amounts are starting to look a little bit more equal. What I forgot to add when doing this exercise is that in Denmark, rather than getting a credit or paying less taxes when you have a child, as is the case in the US, the government in Denmark pays you directly into your bank account a certain amount of money. Due to how it is handled, our tax remains the same, but we're adding 400 Danish krone to our income in Denmark to account for this example of having one child. Now, when you look,
yeah.
they're even closer than before, since 400 Danish krone or 65 US dollars is added back to the Danish income. They aren't equal yet, but the difference isn't that significant. It's only
Yeah.
550 Danish krone or 86 US dollars more for the American.
It's very interesting.
In America, if I'm paying for my health insurance and I'm saving for my daughter's college and I'm paying all that tax, that's basically the equivalent of what's happening in Denmark, except in Denmark, it's all actually contained just in your tax itself.
Okay. Really quickly, I just want to say that we had Thanksgiving dinner today, and so I might be yawning a lot more today just because I had a lot of food. Okay? That's all. Just want to throw that out there.
Those things are included in what you're paying in those taxes. But here's the interesting thing. Let's move this down a bit. In America, health insurance is not going to cover everything. There are still deductibles, there are still co-pays, there are other costs beyond what you pay in your insurance.
Yes.
And
I
if
was
this
just talking to
income
my
is
husband about this
fixed and it won't
today.
increase all that often,
like, this is the worst.
amount of money that you're taking home. Let's just say that you need all of this to pay for your house, to pay for your car or cars, to pay for your food and a little bit of fun. This is all consumed with those things. Where are you going to get money to pay for the additional unanticipated health needs? Well, the way most people handle that is through debt. Debt here is illustrated through a question mark. If income can't
'Cause you never
increase
know.
and you have more bills due to a healthcare obligation that you didn't realize you need, this is the only way that you can cover that. And the problem with this is if your health situation is bad and it's an ongoing issue, this may have to grow even bigger. The only way you can grow your money if necessary, and if you don't have any savings, is through debt. This is one of the challenges that I see, and it's where my opinion comes in. This is one of the unforeseen things that can
I
happen
love that.
if your
Opinion.
health is not really possible to cover easily through your income.
No.
Because this is all consumed by the things that you need to survive and potentially a little bit that can make you happy. Debt is the only variable that you can introduce in order to handle the part that you can't cover through the money that you're making. Additionally, this
It's really sad because that's just the way that it is here. That's the way that people in the US, including myself, we've just accepted it. It's just like, oh, like, hopefully nothing bad happens because, man, the medical bills are going to be crazy. Everyone try and be healthy so that, and that's good. You want to be healthy. But, like, the fear of, something going wrong or, needing medical attention for too long is terrifying because you know that this is a thing and you know that this is going to affect you for the next however long. It could be like a decade or more of your life trying to pay off this debt. So it's scary.
College savings wasn't going to be enough to pay for all of Maya's college. It was only going to make it easier at the point when she went to college. During the 4+ years that Maya would be in college, I might be in a position that I'd have to add even more question marks in order to cover the part of college that my savings wouldn't be able to handle. Now, maybe my income increases and I can pay off some of it, but debt is basically the only variable that I can add in order to increase what I have to pay. And this extra bit is where I think there's a significant challenge in America, because these things are things you just can't easily anticipate, especially healthcare. But those are the things that get handled through the tax that you pay in Denmark.
Right. I'm very interested. Okay, I'm excited. We're going to learn about the Denmark side of it now. In the US, people use their entire life savings on things like this, on medical issues. If there's a disaster with your house, like things like that. I know that there's a little bit more help when it comes to house insurance and things like that. But when it comes to medical insurance, it's just sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's sad when that happens.
If you took these things out completely, if you didn't save for college, you didn't pay for health insurance, sure, you may be taking home a little bit more money than you would otherwise, but you're still back in the situation where you have to start adding debt to cover the things that you can't pay for out of pocket. And this is where the challenge exists. So in my opinion, the difference isn't necessarily that you're paying
ding
for
kind of
these
scares
things,
me every time it
because you're paying
happens.
no
I'm like,
matter
well,
what.
I'm awake.
The difference is how and where you're paying for them. Let's take the income away for now. The difference here is that in Denmark, all of this is going to be paid through your taxes. Where in the US, a portion is going to tax and a portion is going into what would be considered the open market and competition, where you can make decisions. But in the end, college is going to cost a lot of money because it's basically a business and the costs are increasing every single year.
Yep.
And health insurance is something that you may need more of than you think you'll need, but you might also need less. You just don't know. Depends on how long you live or what happens to you. But health insurance really isn't a competitive market. But more importantly, think about it. If you're in a serious injury after a car accident, as an example, will you be swiping left or right on your phone to find a doctor? You're going to take the care that you can get. And what that means is you're going to find out later what impact that has on your health insurance or costs.
Yeah.
Health insurance is also something that you need to survive because it affects your ability to earn money. Because you can't earn the money here if you aren't healthy. You can't earn income. And
That's
then
fair.
everything becomes a major problem.
That's true.
Then you might have a whole bunch of question marks in order to cover all kinds of items that you didn't realize you need.
This video is so...
enjoyed this little...
I love that this video is like so serious. Like it's talking about a very serious issue, but it's just so wholesome. Like I feel like I'm a little kid, like watching, having my teacher like teach me the little question marks and stuff. They're so cute. I can't get over it. I've never seen these people before. They're so awesome.
Welcome back from another edition of Tried on Tuesday.
Yes.
Which there's a pattern here in that a lot of them seem to be alcohol based.
That's true.
Which it's okay.
Yeah, I don't mind. We got to get used to. I need to get used to the Danish teen life of alcohol.
I don't know about that part.
You don't agree with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. All right, so we just wanted to summarize a little bit of what we watched around this tax stuff. There's a couple things I wanted to make sure that I mentioned. Number one, I know people have mentioned to us that Danes actually have a slightly higher amount of debt than Americans do, but a lot of that has to do with homes. And if you're carrying debt for a 4 million krona house, that's comes up in a much higher number. But yet, if you're carrying debt 500,000 krona for other things like healthcare or your college education, the problem with that is there's nothing tangible, so there's no asset, and so that debt
It's just having your money taken away. After you've already, everything's already done. You've gotten the medical service. That's already done. And now you're just stuck with the bill. Yeah.
Yes, actually has a bigger impact on you because you can't sell something to pay the debt off like you could with a house. You're just kind of out of luck, and that's where a lot of problems exist. So I wanted to mention that as one of the things that we didn't really bring up when we were talking about the construction paper stuff.
Yeah.
But Maya, you know,
They're just so
are kind of,
casual. It's
new
nice.
To this world
I
of
am new.
taxes, and what are
I
your
mean,
thoughts?
I'm going to be 18 this year, so I better start.
You probably know more about taxes than I do, you know? Oh my gosh. Good for her. Like, I think that's so awesome. This family's really cool.
Like taking notes. But I think it was really interesting to watch like where your taxes actually go in the different countries. Like looking at Denmark, I know they, have a lot in healthcare and it's all kind of covered in a little thing. But it's so interesting to look at all of the savings that you have to do in America compared to Denmark for like, college and things. That's not something that you have to do here.
Yeah, and who knows how long you'll have those savings because you don't have any help with emergencies, or not enough help, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah, and things that you just don't even
and
know
that's like
about
a lot of
necessarily.
money.
Yeah. And we know that there's a ton of things that we didn't touch on here. It's a very complicated issue, taxes, and we're hoping in other videos we'll talk about some of those things. But
I feel like you can take an entire course of hours and hours of hours of learning about taxes and learning about this kind of stuff and comparing to other countries and stuff like that. So I think they've done a good job with the basics so far. I definitely want to learn more, but I love that.
But we thought it was important first to do a video that just kind of touches on the fundamentals. We also know that people make less money in different places. We thought it'd be really confusing to try to compare a person in a city in the US making more or less than somebody in Denmark. So we use the same numbers. But in reality, people make different amounts of money in different places. And so maybe one time we'll touch a little bit on cost of living in different cities that we've lived.
That could be interesting.
And Denmark, of course. But that wasn't meant to be in this video. We just wanted to start with something pretty basic.
Yeah.
So a couple other updates for you. Miranda, who's sitting on the couch over there right now. You probably can't hear her because we're wearing our new wireless lab mics instead of the regular mic.
probably can't hear her. After we hear the hello, you probably can't hear her, but that's so funny.
Yeah, we're super excited that her gangrene hasn't yet set in on her
No,
knee.
we haven't had to amputate it yet.
No, everything's okay. She's just limping around everywhere, and I'm basically Brisket's caretaker now, it seems. But
Caretaker.
but she's doing well, and she appreciates all the nice things that people have said after the video that we posted of her falling on the lake.
Yeah.
And also,
They actually
we just
posted it.
continue to be amazed
Oh, wow.
by everything, and it feels like we're like on the verge of getting ourselves on the path to 10,000 subscribers. And we appreciate all you've done to help us get to here.
That's
It'd be
so
super
sweet.
cool if any of these videos really seem to touch you in some way, or you think is really interesting, to feel compelled to share it with people. That way, maybe we can get up to 10,000 even faster. I think Maya and I have a
Share
little bet
the
on how
Travelin'
long it will
Young
take for that to
YouTube
happen.
channel.
Yeah,
I should subscribe, honestly.
I'm wondering how long it will be. But I've been pretty blown away so far. Everything is happening so fast. But it's all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, we absolutely appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so.
Definitely just
I feel like
did.
there's a litany of
Definitely
things you're supposed to
just
say
did.
as a YouTuber.
Okay,
at
let's
the
see.
end.
But I do think that that's basically their video. They'll probably kind of do a little outro now. But yeah, that's really interesting. It's so interesting seeing the two countries when they use the pieces of paper to really help you compare how taxes, like the amount basically for each country, US versus Denmark. It was so interesting to see how close it actually is. Like you hear, oh yeah, in Europe, everywhere, basically, you have to pay so many more taxes and it's so much more. And I know that there are certain countries that have different percentages, and I think there might be other countries that you do pay a higher percentage of taxes. I'm not sure. This is just Denmark. But it is so fascinating seeing how close it is. And then in the US, you have to pay more on top of that. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. super fascinating. I wonder if they have any more between like USA and other countries as well. I know they talked about having it in different cities, but I'd love to know if there are other ones for other countries too, just to compare. That was a really nice visual that they did. I love that because honestly, sometimes I am terrible with like time, space, and amounts. Like things, it's just hard for me to visualize it unless it's right in front of me sometimes. So that was really, really nice. I'll definitely want to learn more about that. Holy cow, starting to look at houses in Denmark? Maybe. Maybe, we'll see. No, but I'm really enjoying this journey. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for all of your comments, all of the support. You guys are freaking awesome. Definitely keep them coming. I am loving learning about this. I know that some of you have been a little bit worried about me, you know, diving super into this and learning more, and you're kind of worried that I'm going to get depressed about it or something like that. So far, so good. I am like, you know, peeved about stuff, but at the same time, I'm super grateful to be learning about more of this. It's making me, you know, want to learn even more about other countries. I want to travel. I've always wanted to travel, but it's making me want to travel even more. So I'm excited for what the future holds. But anyway, until the next video, I love you guys so much. I hope that everyone has a great rest of your day. See you later. Bye.